The alarm screamed through the station like a dying animal. Red lights flashed in every corridor. Tay dropped his welding tool and pressed his hand against the cold metal wall to steady himself. He had worked on Orbital Station Horizon for 3 years, and he had never heard this alarm before. This was not a drill. This was not a small emergency. This was the sound that meant something very bad was happening. He grabbed his communication device and called his sister. Hannah answered immediately. Her voice was sharp and fast. "Tay, get to the evacuation point." "Now, what is happening?" he asked. "Ships. Alien ships. They came through the outer defense line. We are on full military alert." Tay felt his stomach turn cold. Humanity had known about alien life for almost 50 years. It met traders and travelers from distant stars. But no alien fleet had ever come to Earth with weapons ready. No alien force had ever broken through their defenses. "Many ships?" Tay asked. Hannah was quiet for a moment. "Over 200. Tay, please, go to the evacuation point." She ended the call. Tay stood alone in the maintenance corridor, listening to the alarm. He should run. He should follow orders. But something made him walk toward the observation window instead. Through the thick glass, he saw them. The alien ships were enormous. They hung in the darkness of space, like sleeping monsters. Their hulls were black and covered with strange symbols that seemed to move and shift. Earth's defense ships looked like toys next to them. Tay watched for a long moment. Then his eyes caught something else. A small shuttle was drifting near the station. It was spinning slowly, out of control. Smoke was coming from its engines. It was not an alien ship, it was human. He checked his scanner. The shuttle had life signs. Someone was inside. Someone was alive. Tay knew the rules. During a military emergency, no unauthorized vessels could be brought aboard. He was supposed to report it and let the military decide what to do. But the shuttle was damaged. It was losing air. Whoever was inside would die in minutes. He made his choice without thinking. He ran to the nearest docking control room and used his maintenance codes to open a small cargo bay. His fingers moved fast across the controls. He extended the emergency capture arm and grabbed the spinning shuttle. He pulled it inside the station. The cargo bay doors closed. Air filled the room. Tay ran inside. The shuttle was badly damaged. Burn marks covered its surface. The windows were cracked. Tay forced open the main door and climbed inside. A young woman lay on the floor. She was unconscious. Blood ran down her face from a cut on her forehead. She wore simple clothes, not a military uniform. Her skin was brown, and her long black hair was tied back with a leather cord. In her hands, she held a small leather pouch decorated with beautiful symbols. The symbols seemed to glow faintly, but Tay thought it might be his imagination. He checked her pulse. She was alive. He lifted her carefully and carried her out of the shuttle in the medical room. He cleaned her wound and wrapped her head with bandages. He gave her water through a small tube. He did everything he could with the basic supplies he had. Then he sat down and waited. She woke up 2 hours later. Her eyes opened suddenly, and she tried to sit up. Fear filled her face. Her hand immediately went to the leather pouch, checking that it was still there. "It is okay," Tay said softly. "You are safe. You are on Orbital Station Horizon. I found your shuttle." The woman looked at him with suspicious eyes. She did not speak. She held the pouch tightly against her chest. "My name is Tay," he said. "I am a maintenance engineer. Are you thirsty?" He offered her a bottle of water. She stared at it for a long time. Then she took it and drank slowly. "Why did you help me?" she asked. Her voice was rough and tired. Tay thought about the question. It seemed strange to him. Your shuttle was damaged. You would have died, but you do not know me. You do not know why I was in that shuttle. You do not know what I am carrying. She touched the pouch again. She did not ask any questions. "You needed help," Tay said simply. "Questions can wait." The woman studied his face for a long moment. Something in her expression changed. The fear did not leave, but something else appeared. Something like confusion, or maybe hope. "My name is Kaya," she said finally. "Hello, Kaya. Are you hungry? I have some food bars. They do not taste very good, but they will give you energy." For the first time, Kaya almost smiled. "You are strange," she said. People tell me that often. Tay gave her a food bar and sat back down. He did not ask about the pouch, did not ask why she was alone in space during an alien invasion. Simply let her eat in peace. Outside, through the small window, the alien ships still waited. Their dark shapes blocked out the stars. "They are here for me," Kaya said quietly. Tay looked at her. He did not understand. "The aliens," she continued. "They came because of me, because of what I carry." Before Tay could respond, the door to the medical room burst open. His sister Hannah stood there with two soldiers behind her. Her face was hard and angry. "Tay, what have you done?" she demanded. "I saved someone," he said. "During a military emergency. Without authorization? Do you know what is happening right now?" Hannah stepped closer. Her eyes moved to Kaya. "Who is she?" "Dame is Kaya. Her shuttle was damaged. She would have died." Hannah looked at the young woman. Kaya met her gaze without looking away. She still held the pouch against her chest. "The aliens sent a message," Hannah said slowly. "They said they want something. They called it the seed. They said a human has it, and they want it returned." Her eyes narrowed. "They said if we do not give it to them, they will destroy everything." Kaya's face became pale, but she did not speak. Tay stood up. He positioned himself between his sister and the injured woman. He did not plan to do it. His body simply moved on its own. "She is hurt," he said. "She needs rest. Tay, move aside." "No." The two siblings stared at each other. The soldiers behind Hannah put their hands on their weapons. The tension in the small room was thick and heavy. Kaya spoke softly. "He does not know anything. He helped me because I was dying. He asked nothing. He wanted nothing." She paused. "I have been running for many days. Government agents, corporations, now aliens. Everyone wants what I carry. Everyone asks questions and makes demands. But he just gave me water and let me rest." Hannah's expression flickered. Something crossed her face. Maybe doubt, maybe understanding. "The aliens are waiting for an answer," she said. "Earth's leaders are meeting right now. Some of them want to give the aliens whatever they want. Some of them want to fight." She looked at Tay. "And my little brother has put himself in the middle of everything." Tay did not move. "She needed help," he said again. Hannah closed her eyes and took a deep breath. When she opened them again, her face was still hard, but her voice was quieter. "You have 1 hour. Then I need answers." She turned and walked out. The soldiers followed her. The door closed. Kaya looked at Tyr with tears forming in her eyes. "Why?" she whispered. "Why are you protecting me?" Tay sat down again. He looked at the leather pouch in her hands. He looked at the fear in her eyes. He thought about the alien ships outside, waiting to destroy his world. "Because you need help," he said. "And I can help. That is enough reason for me." Kaya held the pouch tighter. Outside the window, the alien ships began to move. The hour passed too quickly. Tay stayed with Kaya in the medical room while the station trembled around them. Announcements came through the speakers every few minutes. All non-military personnel were ordered to evacuation shuttles. All defense systems were activated. The alien fleet had not attacked yet, but everyone knew it was coming. Kaya told Tay her story. She came from a small reservation in Arizona, a place where her people, the Apache, had lived for many generations. Her grandmother had raised her after her parents died. Her grandmother had taught her many things. How to read the old symbols, how to speak the ancient words, how to carry a responsibility that was older than any written history. "My family has been guardians for 10,000 years, Kaya said. She held the leather pouch in her lap. "We were chosen by beings who came from the stars, long before your people wrote anything down. They gave us something precious, something important. They asked us to protect it until the right time came." "What is inside the pouch?" Tay asked. Kaya opened it slowly. Inside was a small stone. It looked like turquoise, blue and green mixed together. It was beautiful, but it looked ordinary. Tay had expected something more dramatic. "Is this what everyone wants?" he asked. "This is the seed," Kaya said. "It does not look like much, but it contains the memory of 1,000 worlds. The genetic information of 1,000 species. Civilizations that died long ago are sleeping inside this stone, waiting to be awakened. Tay stared at the small stone. It was hard to believe something so small could be so important. The aliens outside, Kaya continued, they are not the ones who gave my ancestors this gift. Those beings were called the gardeners, traveled across the universe, planting life, helping worlds grow. But the gardeners are gone now. These aliens are different. They're destroyers. They want to control who lives and who dies. If they get the seed, they will use it as a weapon. They will decide which species deserve to exist. The door opened. Hannah walked in alone this time. No soldiers followed her. Her face looked tired. The governments have made a decision, she said. They are going to give the aliens what they want. Kaya's face went white. No, they cannot. They do not understand what will happen. They understand that 200 alien ships can destroy every city on Earth in less than one day. They understand that we cannot win this fight. Hannah looked at her brother. Military police are coming to take her. They will hand her over to the aliens in exchange for peace. Tay stood up. That is wrong, maybe. But it is the decision. If they give her to those aliens, billions of lives across the galaxy will suffer. She just told me. The seed can restore entire civilizations. It can bring back species that were destroyed. Hannah crossed her arms. And if we keep her, every human on Earth dies. How do I choose between humanity and the rest of the galaxy? The room was silent. Outside through the window, Earth hung in the darkness like a blue jewel. So beautiful. So fragile. Tay made his decision. I am not giving her to them. Tay, you cannot fight this. The entire military is following orders. Then I will leave the station. I will take her somewhere safe. Hannah laughed bitterly. Where? The aliens are everywhere. And even if you escape them, our own people will hunt you. You will be a traitor? Then I will be a traitor. Brother and sister stared at each other. Tay saw something in Hannah's eyes. Pain, fear, but also something else. Something that looked like pride. You are impossible, she whispered. You have always been impossible. When we were children, you brought home every injured animal you found. Every lost person. Every broken thing. You never asked if it was smart or safe. You just helped, is that wrong? Hannah did not answer. Instead, she reached into her pocket and pulled out a security card. She pressed it into Tay's hand. Hangar Bay 7. There is a transport shuttle ready for evacuation. The security codes will be changed in 20 minutes. After that, I cannot help you. Tay looked at the card. Then he looked at his sister. You could get in serious trouble for this. I know. Now go, before I change my mind. He hugged her quickly. She held him tight for just a moment. Then she pushed him away. Take care of him, she said to Kaya. He is too good for this universe. Tay took Kaya's hand and they ran. The station was chaos. People rushed through corridors carrying bags and children. Soldiers shouted orders. Alarms continued to scream. Tay and Kaya moved through the crowds, trying not to attract attention. They were halfway to Hangar Bay 7 when a voice called out behind them. Tay. Wait, he turned. His friend Wu was running toward them. Wu was a communications specialist, a tall man with a quick smile and sharp eyes. He had been Tay's best friend since they were assigned to the station together. Where are you going? Wu asked, breathing hard. Everyone is evacuating to the safe zones. I cannot explain now. There is no time. Wu looked at Kaya. Then he looked at Tay's face. He saw something there that made him stop asking questions. You need help? He said. It was not a question. Yes, but this is dangerous. I cannot ask you to come. Wu grinned. You did not ask. I am volunteering. Come on, I know a faster way to the hangars. The three of them moved through maintenance corridors that most people had forgotten existed. Wu knew every hidden path on the station. He had spent years exploring during his free time. They reached Hangar Bay 7, just as an announcement echoed through the station. Security alert. All personnel, be aware. 2 unauthorized individuals are attempting to leave the station. They are considered dangerous. Stop them immediately. Dangerous, Wu said with a laugh. You the man who cried when we found that injured bird last year? Keep moving, Tay said. The hangar bay was nearly empty. Most evacuation shuttles had already left. One transport ship remained, small but fast. Tay used Hannah's security card to unlock it. They climbed inside. Tay took the pilot seat. Wu sat beside him at the communications console. Kaya strapped herself into a seat behind them.
Oh.
Do you know how to fly this thing? Wu asked. I have done basic pilot training. Basic. Wonderful. Tay started the engines. The hangar doors began to close as security teams rushed toward them. He pushed the throttle forward. The shuttle shot out of the hangar just before the doors sealed shut. Behind them, the massive alien fleet waited in silence. Ahead of them, Earth glowed with the lights of 1 billion homes. Where are we going? Wu asked. Kaya leaned forward between the seats. Arizona. The reservation where I grew up? The elders are there. They will know what to do. Tay set the course and pushed the engines to full speed. The shuttle dove toward Earth's atmosphere. Wu watched the alien ships on the scanner. They were not following. Not yet. So, he said casually, would anyone like to explain why 200 alien warships want to kill us? Kaya held up the small turquoise stone. It caught the light from the control panels and seemed to glow from within. She said. They want this. Wu looked at the stone. He looked at Tay. He looked at the alien fleet behind them. Of course, he said. Of course it is something like that. I should have stayed in bed today. The shuttle hit Earth's atmosphere. Fire wrapped around the hull as they descended. Below them, the ancient lands of the Apache waited. Above them, the alien fleet began to move. Whatever was going to happen next. There was no going back now. The shuttle landed in a cloud of dust and sand. The Arizona desert stretched in every direction, red and orange under the evening sun. Mountains rose in the distance, their shadows long and dark. This was old land. Sacred land. Tay could feel it in his bones, though he had never been here before. Kaya stepped out first. She breathed deeply, filling her lungs with the dry desert air. For the first time since Tay had found her, the fear left her eyes. She was home. It's this way, she said. The village is not far. They walked through the desert as the sun sank lower. The sky turned red, then purple, then deep blue. Stars appeared. More stars than Tay had ever seen from the station. Out here, away from the cities, the universe showed its true face. The village appeared between two rocky hills. Small houses made of earth and wood. Gardens and livestock. Children playing in the dirt. Old men and women sitting together, talking quietly. It looked peaceful. It looked timeless. An old woman walked toward them. Her face was deeply lined, her hair white as snow. But her eyes were sharp and bright. She looked at Kaya, and a smile crossed her face. You made it, the old woman said. I knew you would, Grandmother Kaya said, and embraced her. Not grandmother by blood, the old woman said to Tay and Wu. But I helped raise her. My name is Ada. You are the ones who helped her. My name is Tay. This is my friend Wu. Ada studied them carefully. Her eyes seemed to look past their faces, past their skin, into something deeper. You helped her without knowing what she carried. Without asking for anything, it was not a question. She needed help, Tay said simply. Ada smiled. Come. The elders are waiting. There is much to explain and little time. He followed her to a large building in the center of the village. Inside, a fire burned in a stone pit. Around it sat 7 elders, men and women of great age. Their faces were calm, but Tay saw worry in their eyes. Ada led them to sit by the fire. Kaya sat beside her grandmother figure. Tay and Wu sat across from the elders, unsure what to do. One of the elders, a man with long gray hair, spoke first. The aliens have reached Earth's atmosphere. They are waiting for an answer. Our government has agreed to find the woman and deliver her. They do not know she is here yet, but they will learn soon. Then we must move quickly, another elder said. Tell them the truth. Tell them everything. Ada nodded. She looked at Tay with those sharp, ancient eyes. 10,000 years ago, she began, Beings came to Earth from across the stars. They were not like the aliens who threaten us now. They were gentle, kind. They called themselves the gardeners, because their purpose was to plant life throughout the universe. They traveled from world to world, helping civilizations grow, preserving the memories of species that died. The fire crackled. Shadows danced on the walls. But something was hunting them. A force of destruction. A species that believed only the strong should survive. They followed the gardeners across the galaxy, destroying everything they created, burning worlds, ending civilizations. The gardeners knew they could not run forever. She paused and looked at the fire, so they made a choice. They gathered everything they had saved, every memory, every genetic code, every blueprint of life, and they put it into the seed. Then they searched for someone to protect it. Someone who could be trusted not to use it for power. Someone who would keep it safe until the right time came. Why humans? Wu asked. We are not the strongest species. We are not the smartest. Why would they trust us? Ada smiled gently. Because the gardeners watched many species across the universe. They saw empires built on strength. They saw civilizations run by logic and calculation. But in humans, they saw something different. Something rare. She looked directly at Tay. They saw beings who helped strangers without expecting reward. They saw creatures who showed kindness to enemies. They saw species that would run into burning buildings to save people they had never met. They saw mothers and fathers who would die for children that were not their own. The firelight flickered across her face. Compassion without calculation. Kindness without reason. This is what makes humanity special. Not your technology. Not your intelligence. Your hearts. Kaya reached into her pouch and pulled out the turquoise stone. She held it carefully, and it glowed softly in the firelight. The seed responds to intent, Ada continued. It cannot be taken by force. It cannot be stolen or tricked. It can only be given freely, and only to one whose heart is pure. For 10,000 years, my people have protected it. But we are only the guardians. We cannot use it ourselves. Then who can? Tay asked. Every elder in the room looked at him. The fire seemed to burn brighter. The one who helps without reason, Ada said softly. The one who shows kindness to strangers without asking why. We have waited many generations for this person. We thought perhaps they would never come. Kaya stood and walked to Tay. She held out the stone. When you found me on that shuttle, you could have asked questions. You could have reported me. You could have handed me to the military when your sister demanded answers. But you did not. You just helped. Her voice trembled. Every person I have met wanted something from me. Information, power, control. But you wanted nothing. You simply saw someone in pain and tried to help. She placed the stone in Tay's hand. The moment it touched his skin, light exploded through the room. Tay felt something rush through him, like a river breaking through a dam. He saw things. Impossible things. 1,000 worlds spinning in darkness. Civilizations rising and falling. Species being born and dying. He saw the gardeners, tall beings of light, planting seeds of life across empty planets. He saw the destroyers, dark shapes burning everything in their path. And he saw humanity. Small, fragile, mortal, but shining with something that other species did not have. A light that came from within. A warmth that defied logic. The vision ended. Tay found himself on his knees, breathing hard. The stone in his hand glowed brighter than ever before, pulsing like a heartbeat. It recognizes you, Ada said. There were tears in her eyes. After 10,000 years, it has found its keeper, who helped Tay stand. His friend's face was pale with shock. What does this mean? Tay whispered. It means you carry the hope of 1,000 worlds, Ada said. And it means the destroyers will never stop hunting you. They cannot take the seed by force, but they can destroy everything you love until you have nothing left to protect. Outside, a distant rumble shook the ground. Everyone looked up. They are here, one of the elders said. They have found us. Through the window, Tay saw lights in the sky. Alien ships descending through the clouds. Behind them, military helicopters approached from the east. Both forces were coming. Both wanted the seed. Tay looked at the stone in his hand. It pulsed with warmth, with life, with the memory of countless civilizations. He had never asked for this. He had only wanted to help someone in need, but sometimes that is how heroes are made. The alien ships landed at the edge of the village. Dust and sand flew everywhere as their engines burned the dry earth. Military helicopters circled overhead, their spotlights cutting through the darkness. Soldiers dropped from ropes surrounding the village from all sides. No one could escape. Tay stood in front of the elder's building, the stone still glowing in his hand. Wu stood beside him, his face set with determination even though his hands were shaking. Kaya moved to Tay's other side, her chin raised, ready to face whatever came. A door opened on the largest alien ship. A figure emerged. He was tall, taller than any human. His skin was gray and smooth, like polished metal. His eyes were black pools with no light in them. He wore armor that seemed to be part of his body, dark plates that shifted and moved as he walked. Behind him came more aliens, soldiers carrying weapons that hummed with terrible energy. The alien commander walked slowly toward. Tay human soldiers watched nervously, but did not interfere. They had received orders to let the aliens make first contact. "You are the one," the commander said. His voice was deep and cold, like wind through an empty cave. "I can feel the seed responding to you. After we searched so many worlds, killed so many guardians, destroyed so many civilizations, it is a human who finally awakens it." "Stay back," Tay said. His voice was steadier than he expected. The commander stopped. He tilted his head, studying Tay like a scientist studying an insect. "Do you know how old I am, human? I have lived for 12,000 of your years. I have watched empires rise and fall. I have burned worlds to ash and walked through the ruins of civilizations that thought they would last forever." His black eyes narrowed. "And in all that time, I have never understood your species. What is there to understand? You are weak. Your lives are short. Your bodies are fragile. You fight amongst yourselves constantly. By every measure that matters, you should have destroyed yourselves long ago. And yet here you stand, holding the most powerful artifact in the galaxy, because you helped a stranger." The commander took another step forward. Human soldiers raised their weapons, but he ignored them. "I have watched the gardeners choose their guardians. Always the same pattern. They looked for species with pure hearts. Species that showed compassion. Species that helped others without reason." He laughed, a harsh sound without joy. "Foolishness. Compassion is weakness. Kindness is a flaw. The universe belongs to the strong." "If strength is all that matters," Tay said, "then why have you not taken the seed already? You have destroyed planets. You have killed millions. But you still do not have what you want." Anger flashed across the commander's face. The gardeners designed it that way. A final trick. The seed cannot be taken by force. It must be given willingly. His voice became soft, almost gentle. "So I am asking you, human, give it to me." "No. I will give you anything. Power, wealth. I can make you a king among your people. I can extend your life for 1,000 years. Name your price." Tay looked down at the stone in his hand. It pulsed warmly, as if encouraging him. He thought about what Ada had told him. 1,000 civilizations sleeping inside this small piece of rock. 1,000 species waiting to live again. All of them depending on his choice. "I do not want power," Tay said. "I do not want wealth. I do not want to live for 1,000 years." "Then what do you want?" "I want you to leave. I want you to stop destroying worlds. I want you to let other species live in peace." The commander stared at him for a long moment. Then he laughed again, louder this time. "You think you can negotiate with me? You think your wishes matter?" He spread his arms wide. "Look around you, human. I have 200 warships in your atmosphere. I have weapons that can turn your cities to glass. Your governments have already agreed to surrender. You have nothing. I have the seed, and you cannot take it." The commander's face changed. The false politeness disappeared. What remained was something ancient and terrible. Pure hatred. If you will not give it to me, I will destroy everything you love. Your family, your friends, your world. I will burn it all until you have nothing left. And then when you are alone and broken, you will beg me to take the seed, just to end your suffering. He turned and walked back toward his ship. You have 24 hours, one of your days. After that, I will begin with the cities, one by one. Until you change your mind, alien ships lifted off, rising into the sky until they were just lights among the stars. The military helicopters remained, circling overhead. Soldiers surrounded the village, their orders unclear. Were they protecting the village or containing it? A general approached Tay. His face was hard and cold. The governments have made their decision. You will surrender the seed to the aliens. No, this is not a request. You will be taken into custody and delivered to the alien commander. One life for 7 billion. It is simple mathematics. Tay felt hands grab his arms. Soldiers moved to restrain him. Kaya shouted in protest. Wu tried to pull the soldiers away, but was quickly overpowered. Then Ada stepped forward. Her voice was quiet, but it carried across the entire village. Stop! The soldiers hesitated. Something in her voice made them listen. You do not understand what you are doing, Ada said to the general. The seed is not just some treasure to be traded. It is the hope of 1,000 worlds. If you give it to those destroyers, you condemn billions of beings across the galaxy to death. Species that have never done anything wrong. Civilizations that just want to live. I do not care about other galaxies, the general said. I care about Earth. I care about my people. And if Earth survives by betraying the entire universe, what kind of survival is that? What will you tell your children? That you bought your lives with the deaths of countless innocent beings? The general's face tightened. But he did not order the soldiers to release. Kaya spoke up. The seed cannot be given against the holder's will. Even if you force him to hand it over, it will not work. The seed reads intent. It knows when something is given freely and when it is taken by force. Then we will find a way to make him willing. You cannot, Ada said. I have watched this man. He will not break. Some humans can be bought. Some can be frightened into submission. But he is different. He helped my granddaughter without knowing who she was. Without expecting anything. That is not something you can undo with threats. The general looked at Tay. Tay met his eyes without flinching. I will not give it to them, Tay said. Not for power. Not for threats. Not for anything. Because if I do, I stop being the person who can hold it. A long moment passed. The soldiers shifted nervously. The helicopters continued to circle. Finally, the general spoke into his radio. Hold position. Await further orders. He looked at Tay with something that might have been respect. Or maybe just confusion. You are either the bravest man I have ever met, the general said, or the most foolish. Maybe both, Tay said. Above them, the alien fleet waited. 24 hours remained. And somewhere in that small turquoise stone, 1,000 worlds held their breath. The first city burned at dawn. Tay watched from the mountains as light flashed on the horizon. Los Angeles. 12 million people lived there. The alien weapons turned the entire city to fire in less than 30 seconds. The mushroom cloud rose into the sky like a terrible flower blooming. Kaya gripped his arm. Tears ran down her face. Behind them, the elders stood in silence, their prayers whispered into the cold morning air. This is my fault, Tay said. His voice broke. No, Ada said firmly. This is their choice. They're evil, not yours. The alien commander's voice broadcast across every radio, every television, every phone on Earth. This is what happens when you refuse me. One city destroyed. More will follow. Every hour until the human called Tay surrenders the seed. The world screamed in fear. Governments called for Tay's capture. Mobs formed in the streets. Everyone wanted someone to blame. Everyone wanted the pain to stop, but in the mountains of Arizona, the Apache elders led Tay to a hidden place. a cave carved into the rock thousands of years ago. The walls were covered with paintings and symbols that glowed faintly in the darkness. This was the place where the gardeners had first made contact with humanity. This was where the seed had been given. "There is a way," Ada said. "The seed is connected to hundreds of hidden caches across the galaxy. Seeds planted on dead worlds waiting to bloom. If we can activate them all at once, life will return to those worlds. The civilizations the destroyers ended will live again. Their enemies will rise. The balance of power will shift." "How do we activate them?" Tay asked. Ada's face was sad. "Someone must carry the signal. The seed will broadcast through them, using their life force as fuel. When it is done, the holder will be empty." "Burned out? You mean they will die?" "Perhaps. Or perhaps they will simply become something else. No one knows for certain. My people have prepared for this possibility for 10,000 years. We knew the sacrifice might be required." Kaya stepped forward. "I will do it. This has always been my family's duty. I am ready." Tay looked at her. He saw the determination in her eyes. He saw the weight she had carried all her life, preparing for this moment. He saw her courage, and he saw how tired she was, how much pain she had endured, how long her people had waited and suffered. "No," he said.
"Hey!
"This is my responsibility. Your people have been carrying this burden alone for 10,000 years. They protected the seed when no one else would. They sacrificed everything to keep it safe." He held up the stone, which pulsed with warm light. "You do not have to be alone anymore. Let me help." Kaya's eyes filled with tears. "You do not understand. You could die." "You needed help?" Tay said simply. "And I can help. Remember." Wu stepped forward. "If you two are doing something stupidly heroic, I am coming too." "You cannot. This is not your fight. You are my friend. Your fight is my fight. That is how it works." Wu smiled, though his eyes were wet. "Besides, someone needs to tell this story after, and I give very good speeches." The elders began to chant. The symbols on the cave walls glowed brighter. Power gathered in the air, ancient and vast. Ada took Tay's hand and placed it on the center of the largest symbol. Kaya put her hand over his. Their fingers intertwined around the seed. "Together," Ada said. Human compassion. Human stubbornness. Human refusal to let others suffer alone. This is what the gardeners saw in your species. This is why they chose humanity. The power hit them like a wave. Tay felt himself stretch across the universe. He was everywhere at once. He saw dead worlds covered in ash. He saw species locked in genetic prisons waiting to be free. He saw the hidden caches, hundreds of them, scattered across the galaxy like seeds waiting for rain. The seed opened through him, light poured out, not just from the stone but from Tay himself. From Kaya, their shared sacrifice fed the signal. It raced across the void, faster than light, touching every cache, every hidden place, every sleeping world. On a planet 1,000 light-years away, flowers bloomed in dead soil. On another, eggs that had waited for millennia began to hatch. On a third, ancient beings opened their eyes for the first time in 10,000 years. The destroyer's fleet felt it. Their ships shuddered as something ancient recognized them as enemies of life. Systems failed. Weapons went dark. The power that the gardeners had built into the universe itself turned against those who had spent eons burning it in the cave. Tay fell to his knees. He felt empty and full at the same time. The light faded slowly. The seed in his hand was dim now, its purpose fulfilled. But it was not dead. Just resting, Kaya collapsed beside him. Wu caught them both, holding his friends upright. "Did it work?" Wu asked. Outside the cave, the sky changed. The alien ships were falling, trailing smoke, crashing into the desert. Their darkness had been broken. Their power had been taken. From the radio in Wu's pocket, confused voices spoke. Reports came in from around the world. The alien fleet was retreating. Their commander's ship was dead in the atmosphere, drifting down toward the ocean. And then other voices began to speak. Voices that humanity had never heard before. Signals from distant stars. Messages of gratitude from species that had just been reborn. "Thank you," they said. "Thank you for keeping hope alive. Thank you for your sacrifice. Thank you for being human." Days later, Tay stood on a hill overlooking the village. Kaya stood beside him. They had both survived, though they were changed. Something of the seed remained in them now, a warmth that would never fade. Ships were arriving from across the galaxy. Not warships, not destroyers. These were representatives from the civilizations that had been restored. They came to thank humanity. They came to learn from the species that had shown kindness to the universe. Wu walked up the hill, grinning as always. "No," he said, "this all happened because you could not mind your own business." Tay smiled. "I just helped someone who needed it. Anyone would have done the same." "That is the thing," Kaya said softly. "Not everyone would have. That is why it was always going to be humanity." The alien commander had been captured. His empire was crumbling. Across the galaxy, species that had once been conquered were rising up, free at last. The age of destruction was ending, and it had all started because one man saw a damaged shuttle and decided to help. Ada joined them on the hill. She looked at the sky full of alien ships, at the new future unfolding before them. "The gardeners chose well," she said. "Humanity's greatest strength was never weapons or technology. It was this." She touched her chest over her heart. "The willingness to help. The refusal to look away from suffering. The simple belief that kindness matters." Tay looked at the turquoise stone in his hand. It glowed softly, quietly, full of life and promise. "What happens now?" he asked. "Now we help them," Kaya said. "The restored civilizations. The recovering worlds. We show the galaxy what humans do." "And what is that?" She smiled at him, and there was no more fear in her eyes. "Only hope. We help. That is what we do. That is what we have always done." And across the universe, 1,000 worlds bloomed with life. All because one human asked no questions and simply offered a stranger a cup of water. The end.